What gets lost in our frenzy to make our streets safer is that some of the victims are the people we're convicting. Just look at these statistics from the National Registry of Exonerations. Nearly 2/3 of people exonerated of their convictions are either black or Latino, more than twice their percentage of society.
And the number one reason someone is exonerated of a crime for which they were accused of is because a witness either perjured themselves or some other false testimony. And in nearly half of the cases, prosecutors or police withheld evidence. Tonight in the Buckley Report, see how wrongful convictions can take their toll long after someone gets out of prison.
Yeah, so I've got like 5 or 6 articles here that are fairly recent. Psychological impact.
Mark Rabel doesn't need fancy academic studies.
It's called Psychological Impact of Being Wrongfully Accused of Criminal Offenses, a systematic literature review.
To tell him what he's been seeing for the last 40 years.
There's actually a higher rate of suicidal thinking and PTSD with people that have been wrongfully convicted than combat veterans.
Rabel runs the Innocence and Justice Clinic at Wake Forest University.
Today, we're going to talk about Norman Satterfield's case.
It's made up of second and third year law school students who comb through hundreds of cases looking for people who were wrongfully convicted, which appears to be a lot more than you might think. The official number since 1989 is 3,418, according to the National Registry of Exonerations.
I think the number is probably closer to 100,000.
This doesn't speak well for our justice system.
Think about it. These people get dragged off the street. The ones I'm talking about are completely innocent, had nothing to do with it, and you go into a trial at which these guys, almost all of them, think that the system is going to work. And at the end of this, the jury's going to say not guilty, and they're going to walk home.
I was convicted of second-degree murder and armed robbery, and it was a nightmare, to be honest with you.
It took 28 years for Kelvin Alexander to finally walk home.
You know, they gave me a life sentence, but I knew that wasn't going to be my final chapter.
Wake Forest Innocence and Justice Clinic helped him convince the Parole Commission to release him 3 years ago, and he told his story at a symposium on International Wrongful Convictions Day recently. But not every story ends as well as Kelvin's.
Did they do a rape kit?
Yes. I'm sorry that it happened to him, but it wasn't me.
Norman Satterfield spent 35 years in prison before Rabel was able to show that he was innocent.
I know I didn't do it.
And there was a day nearly 10 years ago when it appeared he was finally going home until justice got turned upside down.
Unfortunately, the computer wasn't clear as to the fact that that charge was still hanging over his head, that the sentence, the 10-year sentence on that, still has to be served.
The stress of having little control over your life is debilitating, and Rabel finally got Satterfield released in the summer of 2021, but he died less than a year later.
They come out, and they're mere shadows of their former selves, and you can just see the wear and tear. I mean, the most significant case in this area, of course, was the Daryl Hunt case.
I'd like to have a report on the status of the PCR DNA testing.
Rabel helped exonerate Daryl Hunt after Hunt spent nearly 20 years in prison for a murder that he didn't commit.
He suffered something called complex PTSD, which is repeated episodes of things that happened in prison, threats on his life, just being controlled every single minute of the day, being harassed by corrections officials.
Less than a dozen years after his exoneration, Hunt apparently shot himself at the age of 51.
He may not have gotten the death penalty in court, but the state ultimately got the death penalty against him, even if it was that he took his own life.
As the one-time suspect becomes the victim. Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.
The National Registry of Exonerations estimates that the 3,400 people who have had their convictions overturned since 1989 spent more than 30,000 years in prison for crimes they did not commit.